The morning sun painted the grove with golden hues as disciples gathered under the serene shade of tall bamboo. Their robes swayed gently in the breeze, carrying whispers of nature's harmony to their hearts. The Buddha walked among them, his presence calm yet profound, like still water reflecting boundless skies. His gaze fell on the disciples, many of whom bore signs of fatigue from recent efforts in their spiritual pursuits. He settled under the largest bamboo tree, and his voice, clear as mountain air, flowed to them. Effort without wisdom is like a bird flying aimlessly. It tires but never reaches its destination. A disciple named Rahula bowed deeply, curiosity shining in his eyes. Master, how can effort be wise and not wasted? The Buddha smiled gently, as if understanding Rahula's inner strife. To labor is not the same as to progress. True effort is guided by purpose and clarity. Buddha paused, allowing his disciples to absorb the significance of the image before them. The twisted tree, a poignant lesson. Purna lowered his head, his voice filled with uncertainty. Master, how can I deny those who seek my help? Would that not be selfish? True kindness, Purna, lies not in blind self-sacrifice but in balanced compassion guided by wisdom and clear discernment. He exhausts himself yet finds no water. The man digs deeper, ignoring the dryness, believing his sheer strength will conquer nature's will. He weakens and collapses, his hope crushed. Disciples exchanged glances, their thoughts drawn to moments of personal struggle and unyielding ambition. Rahula asked again, Master, should the man have abandoned the task? Buddha's eyes softened. Abandonment and wisdom differ. Had he first studied the land, he might have chosen where water lay closer. A breeze stirred the bamboo, the rustling blending with Buddha's quiet yet powerful teachings. He explained, effort must align with understanding. Without such harmony, strength serves only futility. The disciples leaned closer, absorbing his words as if planting seeds of wisdom in their hearts. Buddha paused, allowing silence to embrace his teachings like a calm in a storm. Ananda, the ever-curious disciple, voiced his thought, but Master, how can one gain understanding before effort begins? Buddha nodded, appreciating the depth of Ananda's question. Wisdom comes from stillness, contemplation, and connection. Before one acts, one must first listen. His words resonated deeply, filling the grove with an atmosphere of reflection. Buddha continued, the winds do not shape mountains swiftly. They move steadily, and mountains grow in their patient embrace. A young disciple named Sudama appeared troubled, his furrowed brow revealing confusion. Master, what if clarity eludes us, and we are bound by urgency? Buddha held Sudama's gaze, his voice steady as rivers carving through time. Urgency blinds, while patience unveils clarity. Do not rush paths hidden by darkness. Sudama lowered his head, his thoughts sinking into Buddha's wisdom as birds do into gentle nests at dusk. Buddha spoke once more. Consider the fisherman who casts his net without watching the tides. He catches little, though the ocean teems with life. Wise fishermen study the sea, casting nets where fish gather, achieving more with less effort. Rahula nodded slowly, understanding blooming within his soul. Buddha gestured to the grove around him. Nature teaches without words. Observe it. The bamboo does not struggle, yet it stands tall and strong. It bends with the wind and thrives in the rain, adapting without resistance to forces it cannot control. The disciples felt their minds expand, with the metaphor, clarity illuminating their perceptions. Ananda asked softly, Master, does wisdom not conflict with action, causing hesitation and lost time? Buddha answered gently, his voice like flowing silk. Hesitation is born of fear, while wisdom offers calm determination. To act wisely is to move with unwavering focus. To be rash is to scatter seeds on barren land. To be wise is to plant where soil nurtures growth. His teachings unfolded like petals of a lotus, drawing the disciples toward the essence of wise effort. Buddha's tone deepened with purpose. In life's journey, success does not depend on steps taken quickly, but on steps taken mindfully toward one's true destination. Those who rush without direction resemble clouds scattered by wind. They disperse, fading without offering rain to the earth. Rahula whispered to himself, committing each word to memory, as if Buddha's voice had woven threads of wisdom into his being. Buddha rose slowly, his presence still grounded yet vast as the horizon. His disciples followed suit, their hearts stirring with purpose. He extended his hand toward Rahula, saying, "Remember, effort without wisdom burdens the spirit, while effort guided by understanding lightens and uplifts. The path ahead is long, but the wise traveler embraces it step by step, avoiding haste and finding peace." The grove grew silent once more. Buddha's teachings filled the space between them and echoed gently within their souls, leaving marks not of fatigue but of renewal. You are not selfish, Sujata. When you protect your spirit, you are ensuring your kindness remains pure and enduring. The disciples followed Buddha as he walked through the narrow paths, his steps deliberate, his presence serene. In the heart of the village, they came upon a farmer working his field with grim determination. The man's hands were blistered, his back bent as he pushed his plow into the stubborn earth. Buddha stopped and observed the scene, his expression calm yet filled with understanding. He addressed the man kindly. "Friend, why do you work so hard in this dry soil?" The farmer paused, wiping his sweat, and replied, "This is what I know, and I must feed my family." His voice carried frustration and weariness. Buddha gestured toward the field beyond, where the earth was soft and dark from recent rains. "Why not plow where the soil welcomes your effort?" The farmer hesitated, then said, "I fear the unknown land and the labor of starting anew." His words betrayed his doubt. Buddha turned to his disciples, who had gathered quietly around him. "Do you see the futility of toil without wisdom?" He continued, his voice steady as a flowing stream. "The man exhausts himself in resistance, yet abundant harvest awaits where effort aligns with nature's flow." A disciple named Chunda asked, "Master, how can we recognize where our effort will bear the greatest fruit?" Buddha looked at Chunda with gentle eyes. "First, observe. The wise study their surroundings, understanding the conditions before choosing where to act." He pointed to the rain-fed soil. Effort guided by insight achieves more than blind struggle, for it flows with the natural course of things. The disciples pondered his words, their minds drawn to the simplicity and truth of his teaching. Buddha addressed them further. "Consider the carpenter who chisels wood. He does not fight the grain but works with it, crafting with ease and precision. Such is the way of wise effort, moving with the nature of life, not against it. Resistance wastes energy needlessly." Another disciple, Moggallana, asked thoughtfully, "Master, is it always possible to find paths of ease, or must struggle sometimes be embraced?" Buddha nodded, appreciating the depth of the question. "Struggle, when born with wisdom, becomes learning. Struggle, when clung to blindly, becomes a burden." His words resonated with the disciples, carrying the weight of universal truth. The farmer listened intently, his hands resting on the plow. Buddha turned to the farmer once more. "Friend, what do you seek in your labor? Survival or abundance?" Clarity of purpose shapes the path you choose. The farmer bowed his head, his thoughts deep and reflective. He replied softly, "I seek abundance but do not know how to achieve it." Buddha's voice carried encouragement. Begin by letting go of fear. The unknown may hold challenges, but it also carries opportunity beyond measure. The farmer's eyes brightened slightly. As though the clouds of doubt had begun to lift, Buddha gestured toward the rain-fed field again, where the soil is fertile. The plow moves freely, and seeds sprout with joy. Effort becomes fruitful and rewarding. He turned back to his disciples, his gaze encompassing each of them. This is the essence of the teaching. Precision of effort leads to the highest results. Ananda asked, Master, how can we ensure our choices are precise and not led astray by distractions or false desires? Buddha smiled gently, the corners of his lips hinting at wisdom beyond words. Precision arises from mindfulness. The mind anchored in awareness sees clearly. Distractions blur focus, and desires born of ignorance misguide. Mindfulness is the compass that aligns effort with purpose and clarity. The disciples nodded in understanding, their spirits uplifted by the simplicity and depth of his guidance. Buddha spoke further. To act with precision is to honor the moment and the path. It is neither rushed nor delayed unnecessarily. Those who act rashly waste their strength. Those who hesitate lose the opportunity. Precision walks the middle way of balance. The farmer stepped forward and knelt before Buddha. Master, I will try to plow the rain-fed field. Your words have opened my heart. Buddha rested his hand lightly on the farmer's shoulder, a gesture of compassion and encouragement. May your effort be guided by wisdom and bear abundant fruit. The disciples watched in reverence as the farmer rose with renewed purpose. His steps toward the rain-fed field seemed lighter, his spirit unburdened. Buddha addressed his disciples one final time that day. Remember, effort itself is not sacred. Only effort guided by wisdom brings peace and fulfillment. The village quieted as the sun climbed higher, its rays casting golden light on the rain-fed field. Buddha and his disciples continued their journey, their hearts enriched by the simple yet profound lessons shared that day. Another day, the disciples gathered beneath the vast canopy of a Bodhi tree, seeking refuge in its serene shade and wisdom. The Buddha sat among them, his gaze as steady as a mountain, his presence as calm as still waters. He noticed some disciples fidgeting, their expressions revealing burdens they carried silently. Their minds seemed heavy with thoughts of past failures and future desires, clouding their present focus. Buddha addressed them gently, his voice soothing as a river's song. Why do you carry what is not needed for this moment's path? A disciple named Purna spoke hesitantly. Master, I think often of mistakes I've made, and they haunt my mind. How can I let them go? Buddha looked at Purna with deep compassion. Imagine a traveler who fills his bag with stones. His journey grows harder, yet he adds more. The disciples listened intently, their attention captured by the weight of Buddha's words. Such is the burden of regret and fear. They are stones in the traveler's bag. Buddha continued, his tone steady. The wise traveler pauses and asks, does this stone serve my journey? If not, he sets it down. Another disciple, Kassapa, asked with sincerity, Master, how do we discern what to carry and what to release? Buddha's lips curved slightly, a smile of understanding. Ask yourself, does this serve my peace, my growth, my purpose? That which does not, release. The disciples nodded slowly, their thoughts turning inward, reflecting on the mental stones they carried through their own lives. Buddha spoke further. Consider the archer preparing for a journey. He carries his bow and arrows but leaves behind unnecessary weights that slow his step. The archer understands his purpose and chooses only what aids him. Such mindfulness frees him to travel far and strong. A young disciple named Nanda raised his hand. Master, what of desires? They seem to pull my mind endlessly into yearning. How can I escape them? Buddha turned to Nanda, his gaze steady yet filled with kindness. Desires are like mirages. They promise relief yet lead only to deeper thirst. To free yourself from desires, see them for what they are, fleeting and insubstantial. Let mindfulness anchor your mind in truth. The breeze rustled the leaves above, carrying Buddha's words like whispers of enlightenment through the grove. Buddha continued to guide them. Letting go is not loss. It is gaining freedom. The open hand is not weighed down, and it embraces peace. A disciple named Subhuti, often quiet, spoke softly, "Master, is there a way to practice letting go, so it becomes easier with time?" Buddha nodded, his voice steady. Meditation is the practice of release. In stillness, the mind learns to set down what it clings to. When the heart rests in the present moment, it sees clearly. The burdens of past and future dissolve like morning mist. The disciples felt a lightness in their spirits, as though Buddha's teachings had begun to loosen the invisible weights they bore. Buddha gestured toward the path leading away from the grove. Imagine this path. To walk it, you must move freely, unencumbered by excess. The traveler who carries too much cannot see the beauty around him. His focus narrows to the weight on his back. The disciples exchanged knowing looks, understanding how their own minds often mirrored such travelers. Weighed down by unnecessary thoughts, Ananda asked thoughtfully, "Master, is letting go a single act, or is it a journey we take step by step?" Buddha smiled gently. "It is both. The first step lightens the load. The journey teaches us to embrace lightness as a way. Each moment offers a choice. To carry or to release. Choose release, and the path becomes clearer and easier to walk." The grove grew quieter, as if the world itself paused to absorb the profound simplicity of Buddha's wisdom. He spoke again. "Freedom is not in possessing more but in needing less. The less you cling, the more life opens its arms to you." The disciples bowed their heads, silently honoring the truth of Buddha's teachings. Each felt the stirrings of transformation within their hearts. Buddha's gaze moved to the distant horizon, his voice filled with timeless wisdom. "The river flows not by holding but by letting go, so too must you flow. Not by grasping at each stone in the current but by moving freely toward the ocean." A disciple named Upali asked with reverence, "Master, does letting go mean we abandon all, even the people and duties we cherish?" Buddha's voice carried assurance. Letting go does not mean abandonment. It means releasing attachment and embracing love without clinging or possession. Love flows best when free, like the wind that embraces all yet clings to none. Duty thrives in the space of freedom. The disciples felt their understanding deepen, realizing the balance between connection and release, between responsibility and liberation. Buddha's voice softened. "In holding lightly, you hold wisely. In letting go, you gain not loss, but the fullness of presence and clarity." Buddha rose slowly, his movement as deliberate as his words. The disciples rose with him, their hearts lighter, their spirits uplifted. He spoke once more, his final words resonating through the grove. "Walk lightly, live freely, and let your journey be guided by clarity and peace." The disciples watched as Buddha walked ahead, his steps light yet profound, as if the earth itself welcomed his every stride. The evening sun cast its golden light over the grove, illuminating the disciples' newfound understanding. Together, they followed Buddha, embracing the path of release. Resilience grows from self-compassion and the knowledge that failures are steps toward wisdom and growth, he replied. The disciples felt a surge of hope, inspired by the resilience embodied by the lotus and reinforced by Buddha's words. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.